Hello there, welcome to whatever this is. I don't know. It's a review of a thing on on the YouTube. I'm never gonna get in fucking oh my vlog talking about that, am I? Oh my vlog, what a fucking load of shit. What a shit planet we live on. That is the thing. Anyway, I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm fucking on YouTube. I'm fucking on about slagging off people who are actually successful on YouTube, and I go like. Anyway, you are better than the people that. Anyway, listen, I'm going to review an album now. It's the self-titled album from We Came as Romans. Yes, it is. And if you buy this issue of Metal Hammer, inside you will find this, which is an interview and feature that I did with We Came as Romans. So let's give you a little bit of backstory, as in my relationship with We Came as Romans. I was kind of asked to do this. I didn't ask or pitch that piece. I was asked to do it, and I wanted the money, so I did it. That's fine, isn't it? Sorry to admit that is the truth. But I saw We Came as Romans last year at Hellfest. And I've got to say, I thought they were pretty bad. Actually, I thought they were pretty rubbish, pretty sterile. They didn't really have anything that I could get excited about going on. Really, it's like I remember when metalcore was good, and I don't mean Killswitch Engage because they're like the Stone Temple Pilots of metalcore. Frankly, I mean metalcore, the original first wave of metallic hardcore, and to think that it's gone from that to that is it's a bit like listening to the Stooges and then listening to Blink 182 or All Time Low and going, God, that's awful. It's fucking turned into that. So I can't say I was much of a fan. I'd heard a few of their other songs before. It's never anything that's really got me that excited, but I was told that they'd gone in a heavier direction and had changed their lyrical content quite considerably. So this is the album, the self-titled album that they've done that on, and I guess the question is, A, have they, and B, is it any good? Well, to answer A first, lyrically they might have changed what they're doing a little bit. Musically, they might have changed it slightly, but to say that it's heavier, no, it isn't. I can't see how they could sit there with a straight face and say, yes, this album is clearly a heavier, more metal album. I don't think it is. I think it's produced differently. I think the sounds are differently. It throws up some different stylistic influences from things that they've done previously. But as for, is it a heavier album? Is it a more metal album? No, I would say not. In fact, if anything, it has more sheen and a bigger reliance on choruses and pop sensibilities than their previous stuff. Which leads me on to point B, is it any good? Obviously those things, doesn't really matter. If the album's good, the album's good. It doesn't matter really, does it? It's I think the most telling thing about the album is it was produced by Dave Bendrith, who is the gentleman who produced Restoring Force, the last Mice and Men album. And I really like that album. Like it's not really A, what I expected from Of Mice and Men, and B, it's not the sort of thing that I usually would say that I'm a fan of. But I thought Of Mice and Men did a good job doing that transition from a kind of mid 2000s metalcore band into something different, which is, like I guess a kind of a more modern, souped up version of Linkin Park. Bring Me the Horizon have done that a bit before. If you look back at somebody like Avenged Sevenfold or Atreyu, they also came from the kind of latter mid-period second wave of metalcore bands, who then decided to take the influence of 80s rock and glam metal and meld it into something different. So I don't necessarily think, and with good results as well, so I don't necessarily think that just changing and becoming more commercial, if you like, is necessarily a bad thing. I think it worked for Of Mice and Men. For We Came as Romans, it works in parts in this album. it's certainly an album with more depth than anything that I've heard them done before, that I've heard them do before. The World I Used to Know, track 3, is a real anthem. That's the sort of thing you can imagine a band playing Wembley Arena would come out with. It's very poppy, it's very catchy, it's quite light and fluffy and sugary, but at the same time, it's instantly likable, and it's not. It's not too. You can overcook those songs, and I don't think they do. I think they get the balance quite right on that. The opening track from the song, "Regenerate," is kind of a more bouncy, heavier one. Again, very reminiscent of the singles from the last of Mice and Men album. There's a song called Blur, which is a track 6, which is a kind of again quite a floaty, bouncy, pop influenced song, and it's a nice, it's a nice way to spend 3.5 minutes. What can you say? It's a decent piece of work. I think the problem with this album is the tracks where they do try and go heavier, which doesn't seem to aesthetically suit We Came as Romans quite so much, especially from what they're now trying to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with them becoming or wanting to become a more mainstream, bigger band. I think there's a problem with that. A lot of bands have done that with great results, but I'm not quite sure if maybe they should just leave some of the heavier stuff alone. Tear It Down, track 5, is really clunky. Like, that kind of is the epitome of the clunkiest piece of music on here. It sounds like not just Linkin Park, but kind of Linkin Park when they're trying to be heavy and they're not, and it's rubbish with a not as good singer, frankly. And there's a couple of tracks like that on this record where it kind of flits dangerously in between bog standard early 21st century nu metal, when nu metal was completely running out of ideas. So it's an up and down sort of record, but I was pleasantly surprised by parts of it. I don't think it's the sort of record that will stand the test of time. I can't really see We Came as Romans being lumped in with any sort of new grand musical movement. They do seem to have played the Of Mice and Men stroke Bring Me the Horizon card of let's get more melodic and hope that the results lead to a bigger financial and commercial success for us, which again is not, I'm not having a go at them for doing that. It kind of suits them, but I just don't think they're that spectacular a band, essentially, and they're working within a framework, within the tools that they've been given and their abilities, and parts of it are good for them and parts of it aren't even good for them. So I would say this album's teetering on a 6, but it's more likely to get a 5, and I can't really see We Came as Romans making the same sort of impact as their peers and former support band of Mice and Men. Anyway, what did you think? Do you like the band? Do you like the album? Tell me all of your innermost demons and thoughts, and let me know what else you want to do. I've got the new Clutch album, got the new Soulfly, got the new Fear Factory, got the new High on Fire. I'll probably do all of them and maybe some other things at a later date. But for now, you have to go.